Alright, what is going on, guys? HC Gems here, back with another Street Fighter 5 video, and in today's video we're going to be solely going over V-Trigger 2. Yes! Everybody's favorite V-Trigger. If you didn't know, I was joking. But yeah, the video is going to be strictly based off of V-Trigger 2, and kind of I'd consider this a stealth change because it wasn't mentioned in the patch notes for the recent balance patch for Street Fighter 5. If you haven't checked out what's happened with R.Mika in this recent update, I'll leave the link to the video of me discussing that in the description below. We can go check that out. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be talking about V-Trigger 2 and something that has been, people have noticed it now. I actually noticed it a couple minutes after I uploaded my first video regarding the 3.1, 3.5 patch, whatever. But yeah, it was made aware as more people found out on Twitter, for those of you who dabble with V-Trigger 2. But for the majority of you that don't dabble with V-Trigger 2, we're going to be going through that now. So without further ado, enough of me rambling on, going on a tangent. Let me just double check my buttons are good to go. Yes, we're all good to go. Right, so the main purpose people used V-Trigger 2 was for resets. That's what heavily attracted people to use this V-Trigger 2. To use this V-Trigger in certain situations. And mid-screen, I'll leave a video to what I've done regarding V-Trigger 2 resets, because some of them no longer work anymore, and that's because they've changed something about Nadeshiko's collision box. Now, V-Trigger 1 Nadeshiko doesn't have a collision box. V-Trigger 2 Nadeshiko does have a collision box. That is very important information for those who don't know, and I wasn't going to do this video until I got confirmation that there was something wrong. I say wrong, something changed about the V-Trigger, so I got confirmation. So just to let you know, what's happened is, I think this is precise wording, I'll put it on the screen as well. V-Trigger 2 Nadeshiko collision box lowered as low as possible, so no longer stays in front or of a juggled or airborne victim, only in front of a grounded victim. So what that means is, well, it's better for me to show you than explain. So there's certain resets you could do where you do one. Oh, let me turn off the block. Sorry about that. Right, so you basically done something like this. Let me get the spin. Right. So before, you used to cross under the opponent. In our case, R.Mika. You used to cross under, used to get a reset. So you can make it a really ambiguous 50-50 mid-screen reset. That was one of the enticing things about this V-Trigger. But as you saw there, let me show you again. That's no longer the case. Sorry, when I get this right. So we activate the V-Trigger, swing it back in, go for the delayed jump. That is no longer the case. So they've lowered the box. So what happens is the interaction with Nadeshiko during these resets have changed mid-screen, which doesn't allow you to cross under the opponent. That's kind of a roundabout way of explaining it, but you basically can't get any fancy mid-screen resets anymore. I mean, one of the ones I came up with recently doesn't work. So when you do that, the opponent will always go behind Nadeshiko now. And resulting, that's limited your options for the reset, but also the opponent's kind of got out of a perilous situation, because the whole point of swinging them back to mid-screen was to get those fancy and kind of ambiguous resets. But like I said, that's been taken away. That's no longer the case now. So that's the biggest gripe with it. The mid-screen resets, they're kind of been toned down. What you can do is you can do something like this, but that's irrelevant because you don't want that. You want to land the big damaging resets, the big damaging combos, but you just can't do that anymore. So you have to kind of find a way to, I don't know, just put them in a bad spot or something. It's really weird. I'm still messing around with this, but your mid-screen resets, in layman terms, your mid-screen resets are gone. Don't bother doing them, and that's given people even more of a reason to not use this V-Trigger anymore. Now, there's certain things about this V-Trigger that has changed a little bit regarding this stealth change. I'll get onto my personal opinion about it later. But one thing you couldn't do before, which you can now do, I believe you couldn't do this before. So when Nadeshiko comes running in, you can actually drop kick past her now. Before, you couldn't do that. So the interaction, the collision you have with Nadeshiko, the interaction you have, it's changed. I'd say for worse, because obviously mid-screen resets are gone. But you can now drop kick over her. So when she comes in, you can go past her now. So that kind of helps with, I guess, with an overall approach on the ground, I guess. Because again, before you couldn't do that. I think you still, if you try to run behind her, it's still, well, you won't go past her. So yeah, that's something that remains the same, because I know a lot of people haven't really looked into this V-Trigger and its applications for it. I think you can EX Peach through them. Can you? No, you can't. Okay, you can't EX Peach through them. So yeah, it's just a really weird thing that they've done. I can't fathom why they've done this, or I can't fathom why they've done this and they haven't explained it. They did not mention that, which that's the part that annoys me. I like using this V-Trigger, but the fact that they didn't mention this is what is annoying me. Another thing that they mentioned as well, if I put the guard all on, another thing they changed, V-Trigger 2 Nadeshiko no longer deals white damage on block. Now, this has been classed as a nerf. I don't think that's the case. So, when you throw the chair, or when you do the delayed call, I think it just does bona fide chip damage. Yeah? Well, let me get out of the way. Let's call her in. And then if we get you to block that, there you go. So it just does bona fide chip now. And I actually didn't know it done grey damage before, because some of the tech I found regarding V-Trigger 2, I wasn't really fussed whether it done grey damage or chip damage. I think it was better to do chip damage, but it just no longer does white damage on block. No big deal. So the next thing we move on to is, some of you may be asking, well, if I can't do my mid-screen resets anymore, what's the point of using this V-Trigger? Well, I'm still trying to find things regarding this V-Trigger, but I'd say your main reason has been taken away from you. The entertainment factor of V-Trigger 2, it's gone. What you can do is you can still do something like this. Actually, before I show you that, let me show you this, right? Because this is interesting. This has been in the game for a little bit, or since V-Trigger 2 came out. So this was still, well, I found this a couple weeks ago. I did show it on my stream. So basically, if you do this, I have to do it as delayed as possible to get to combo. But I'm really bad at it right now. That should work. Oh no, okay, I've got to do the other one. There you go, that should do it. So there you go, you got a little glitch there. That still remains in the game. It's not, well, I wouldn't even say it's a glitch, but I thought it would get taken out because of the new collision bug, but it's still there. I wouldn't really do this if I were you, because it's just like whatever, it's just a random piece of tech I found, but I thought because of the collision box change on Nadeshiko V-Trigger 2, that would have disappeared. That's not there. It's sorry, that doesn't, that still remains in the game. Sorry, I don't know, I was at a loss for words there. My brain fully farted. But going back to what I was saying, so what you can do with V-Trigger 2 now is when you get like an example, crouch hard punch into V-Trigger activation, maybe from the corner for example, you can do a sequence like this, and then you can take them all the way to the other end of the screen, call the next Nadeshiko, and then do something. So there's still utility behind it. This example here with the screen carry, you don't have to go for a reset. You can take them from one end of the screen to the other end of the screen. Again, it's just something I've shown on my stream before. So that's one utility. Combo extension, don't worry about the damage. Get them in the corner. Remember, you got 2 attempts. That's one of the good things about V-Trigger 2. You got 2 attempts. Another question you may be asking, Jammers, do my resets in the corner still work? Yes, they do. You can still do something like this. Sorry, 1, and then we go over there, and then 1, 2. See, so you can still do this. One of the purposes for V-Trigger 2 is all about the resets. You've still got your corner resets, so don't worry about that. Let's see, this still works. Yeah, so you can still do it. It's just the annoying thing was, again, they didn't mention this in the patch notes. There's quite a lot of things that they don't mention when patches come out. I have actually found 1 or 2 other bugs regarding this, but I will not show it in this video because I want to actually go through the entire cast and work on that first, and then we'll probably work on a video regarding that later. But there's still, you can still use this V-Trigger if you really want to, but my suggestion is don't be hell-bent on trying to use it like me, because again, I like training mode, I like figuring out tech. So I like using this V-Trigger 2 for that kind of purpose. But if you're playing to compete and win, or heck, you just want a better V-Trigger when you're playing online, just stick with your V-Trigger 1, because that hasn't changed as far as we're aware anyway. Again, my issue was, my main gripe, my concern was, why didn't Capcom mention it? And that's a pretty big deal, because people were doing mid-screen resets. I mean, I've had people message me saying, Jammers, my mid-screen resets no longer work, what do I do? There are other practical uses for this V-trigger, but one of the things that, you know, encouraged people to use this, it even showed it in the arcade edition trailer, you can mix the opponent up. Heck, if you still want to do mid-screen resets, you're going to have to find another way to do it. So you're just going to have to find a way to sandwich them another way. You're just not going to get like a free ride to do so. So hopefully that explains things. But yeah, it's annoying. But to me, it's not that bad. And this is why I held off. Because a lot of people demanded I do a reset video regarding V-Trigger 2. The reason I held off on doing it was because certain resets, or just resetting right now in the game, it's big, but I feel it's not imperative. And I couldn't help but feel they were going to do something about it, regardless. And people don't even use this V-Trigger anyway. They don't use it as much as I've been using it. But yeah, I have other practical uses for V-Trigger 2, so I'm not fussed. Well, I'm not that fussed. I'm annoyed. I'm not that fussed. Other people are just like, or other Mika players are like, look, okay, I'm definitely not using it now because I can't swing them back mid-screen and do something. But that just indicates to me you are heavily reliant on mid-screen resets. You just gotta, okay, layman terms, again, you just gotta work that much harder to earn your, you know, your reset or your knockdown. It's still, you can still experiment with it and use it. You just can't have the fun that we used to have for about, what, it wasn't even 3 months, mate. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. So hopefully that explains everything. It's just been the major point of V-Trigger 2, a stealth change, is that Nadeshko's collision box has been adjusted. So basically, you can't get fancy mid-screen resets. You can get something, but it doesn't stop the opponent from backdashing or neutral jumping or jumping back out of the situation. But yeah, so hopefully that explains everything, and hopefully this has been insightful for you guys. Again, I'm still experimenting with this. This was a stealth change that they didn't mention, or stealth nerf, shall we say. But yeah, I'll leave the respectable video links that I was talking about in the description below. If you did enjoy this video and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to. If not, it's not the end of the world. We can go about our day. I'm definitely going to go about mine. But yeah, if you want to follow me on the other following social media outlets, my Twitter and my Twitch are in the description below. This has been your boy HC Jammers. And again, let me reiterate, you can't do fancy mid-screen V-Trigger 2 resets anymore. If anyone cared about using V-Trigger 2, you got even less of a reason to use it now. But yeah, this has been your boy HC Jammers, and enjoy the rest of your day. Until then, take care.